G'day, Paul. We're back doing an NRL show. Couple of weeks off.
We are, and we've had as much magic as you can handle, Professor. I tell you, it was after the rugby league experience in Vegas, we had Magic Round in Brisbane, and I think the two weekends between Vegas and Brisbane, possibly the two finest weeks of club rugby of the year. You got the Origin, of course, is enormous and grand final, but in terms of club land, it doesn't get much bigger than Vegas and Magic Round in Brisbane. It's going very well for the Code. And geez, we had what a round of upsets. I couldn't pick it, Professor. I'm surprised you've invited me back on because I didn't have much luck last weekend.
How did you see the round as a whole, though?
I found it amazing for the Code, and I think it's a big leveler because all the teams know how big a round it is. And I think you're going to get upsets every year because it's much like we've talked about this before. Monday Night Football, if you're an NFL player in America, everyone you know is watching. So there's an inordinate amount of upsets on Monday nights in NFL in America because everyone knows how big it is. So you had some very unusual results, I think, but at the same time, Magic Round, very unpredictable.
6 sin bins, Paul. They seem to be on the rise.
Well, less than the week before. So we're having this intrusion by the bunker, which hasn't been welcomed by many. Some are saying, some very good commentators, one of them being Joey Johns, who I respect greatly, is saying get rid of the bunker completely. So it's a real contentious point. And as you know, over this show over many years, what we hate are things distracting from the true spirit of the game and how good the game's going. Doesn't need this off-field stuff, unfortunately.
Now, the West Tigers, Lachlan Galvin only spent 1 week suspended.
He did, and they've won 2 cents. And I think Jerome Luai put it best, is we don't have to be mates. And it's probably like some of the environments we've worked in. Professor, you don't have to be friends with people. As Paul Keating said about Canberra, if you want a friend in Canberra, buy a dog. In rugby league, you've just got to get out there and do your job. And that's what Galvin's been doing. And those Tigers are really a team to watch now.
Now, my Bulldogs are on top of the ladder, Paul, but they're called the Dogs of War, but they can't go to war too many more times because they're starting to rack up the suspensions. And Jason Preston is before the Judiciary tonight trying to avoid a 3-week suspension for a crusher tackle.
Well, that's right. And I'd hate to say it with your love of the Dogs, but I'd hate that they peaked too early, very early. But I'm hoping they can keep the momentum going. But wow, they had some momentum before it all slowed down a bit.
Now, what did sneak under the radar, Paul, was I didn't realise that the Women's State of Origin was starting during Magic Round.
It did. It kicked off, and it was quite a game as well, and it got quite some good ratings as well. So it's great for the game. The game's going great all round. Another thing to keep an eye on is the broadcast rights, which are not for now for a couple of years, but they're going to be record amounts, which is not surprising given the quality of the game and the new teams coming in.
Now, the Blues beat the Maroons fairly handily, 32-12. Do you think that the Maroons will be able to win a game during this season?
Well, not on based on that. The Blues just have too many individual superstars, and unlike their male counterparts, they actually get it done. So I'd be very happy with a male New South Wales 32-12 score, but I don't think it's going to happen based on what we know.
All right, we'll just go very quickly through the Magic Round results, Paul, and I'll just get you to really just comment on whether you expected the result or not. Roosters 36, Dolphins 26.
That was a line ball one. We'd written the Dolphins off, so not a big shock. No, the Roosters are an amazing team in terms of spirit, missing a lot of players, but they're on the rise.
Rabbitohs 4, Knights 30.
Next question. But no, the Knights were very impressive and they're rising. You know, I love to see the city of Newcastle and their team going well as much as I hated to see it. My Rabbitohs are a patched up outfit and gone for the year, I'd say.
The only good news is Latrell Mitchell is back this week.
He is, but he won't save us. It's and even the master coach as well. So good for the Knights. Great win for them.
I had to laugh. I'm enjoying watching the master coach's press conferences, Paul. His first question was, they said, why did you lose? And he just looked straight down the barrel and said, we weren't very good.
Yep, and he also questioned the attitude of the reporter as well, which is fair. I mean, whatever he does seems to work, but he's got a lot on his hands with this team because we are missing about 7 or 8 of our starting 13. So not making excuses, but I will. You can't win in this competition with this standard, missing that many players.
Warriors 30, Cowboys 26.
And both very unpredictable teams. I mean, the Cowboys, people were talking them up. I'd talk them down, but the Warriors I didn't think would achieve what they've done. They are a team on the up, the Warriors, and they'll probably sneak into the 8 at this rate.
Well, they're in third spot at the moment, Paul, so it's all ahead of them, isn't it?
No, I think they'll hold on, unlike other years. They're playing very good football. They're always great to watch, the Warriors.
West Tigers 34, Dragons 28.
Yeah, I predicted that. I like the Tigers the way they're playing. Dragons, I think, overachieving at the moment. There's some issues in that Dragons team. They can't settle on a halves combination. And you've got that dreaded word nepotism we don't use often. But when the coach preferences his son who's in the halves, it's not a good look, and it's not working out for the Dragons.
The Bulldogs 38, Titans 18 with Jacob Carraz with a hat-trick.
Yeah, very good win. Titans very poor, but the Dogs can only beat who they're up against. So it was very, very impressive by the Dogs.
Now, the Broncos smashed the Bulldogs last week. The Broncos playing on their home turf. Panthers 32, Broncos 8. Who would have seen that coming?
One of the most disappointing matches I've seen in years in terms of expectations as against what was delivered. The Panthers, of course, we have to respect them on the back of what they've done, but the Broncos just didn't get it going. And in front of their home crowd, I'm tempted to revisit my prediction. They'll make the grand final. It was a very bad loss. But all credit to the Panthers, who probably we shouldn't have written off so soon.
And I thought the match of the round, Storm 18, Raiders 20. Storm went to pieces in the last couple of minutes, gave away a couple of penalties, which didn't really help.
We've seen some very unstorm-like things this year. There's been a couple of times against the Dolphins was unstorm-like, probably the worst 20 minutes I've seen from the Storm in 20 years. So I'm surprised that the Storm are runaway favourites for this competition because we've seen some very unstorm-like performances.
All right, Paul, round 10 starts Thursday night. The Eels 17th playing the Dolphins 14th. Who'll win it and why?
The Eels will win on the back of Mitchell Moses, who is booking himself a New South Wales jersey. They're very, very good, the Eels.
Don't think the inclusion of Kenny Bromwich and Junior Tupou will help the Dolphins?
No, I think the Eels are very close to a lock, but I won't get the giraffe guarantee out yet, professors.
Did you bring your bell with you? That's the big question.
I don't have it with me at work trivia, no, but you're about to hear it very shortly because I've got the Knights as the giraffe guarantee this week.
All right.
To beat the Titans.
That's the Friday night game. Knights playing Titans.
And they'd already be lining up there in Newcastle, and it's great to see that team is playing well. They've got one of the best players in the game at the back, Tonga, and Fletcher Sharp with the hat-trick last weekend. Absolute specials against a Titans team who are just demoralised.
Then we've got the second game on Friday night. Your Rabbitohs playing the Broncos.
I'm not expecting much. It'll be a massacre, I think, but we'll see how we go. I just think Broncos will be too classy. They'll fight back.
Saturday, first game, probably the match of the round. At 3 o'clock, playing to Bruce Stadium. Raiders, second position, playing the Bulldogs on the top.
Yeah, forgive me. Well, I'm not just saying it because you're looking at me, but I think the Dogs will win this. I just think the Raiders are overachieving. So I hope your Dogs win this. It's a big litmus test of their abilities this year. I think the Dogs will win.
All right, the matinee game, 5:30 p.m. The Dragons playing the Warriors. Warriors having to travel 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I've got the Warriors down to win this. Too much class. I think there's a lot of issues internally at the Dragons, and as we know, if you can't settle on a 6 and a 7, it's not good in this level of competition. I think the Warriors win it.
Now, what wasn't going to be a danger game for the Cowboys may well be. Cowboys playing the Panthers.
I've still got them to win. I think the Panthers might have pulled one out of the bag, the old bag, last week, but I think the Cowboys will win it at home, even though they're significant outsiders.
Now we turn to Sunday's games. The Storm, who had dropped down to 4th position, playing the West Tigers, who are in 8th.
Yeah, I've got the Storm winning this pretty easily. Tigers are good, but they won't beat the Storm at home. They will be furious at home, and Craig Bellamy will have worked them into the ground this week. So I've got the Storm winning it pretty easy. And
Schooner's asked me to find out who's going to win, the Sea Eagles or the Sharks, being played at Brookvale, and Jake Trebojevic's back in.
You'll forgive me, Schooner, but nothing if not loyal. I tipped the Sharks to make the grand final, so I hate to disappoint him. that the Sharks to win, but given my recent form, he shouldn't be too discouraged because it's more than likely Manly will win now. But I've got the Sharks winning that one in a close one.
All right, Paul, I've got. There you go. What was your match of the round?
Oh, I've got the Knights with the draft guarantee.
There we are. We got the bell for you.
Oh, there we go. Very well done.
All right, Paul.
I've got a prize to collect, I think, so all good.
All right. Well,
all right, mate.
Hopefully the Dalligan selections will get up. We'll
See you, mate.
talk
Thanks
again next week. Cheers.
See you, mate. Cheers. Bye.